Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out to the monthly mindset Q&A. My name's Desi, or if you know me from Reddit, Discord, or any other groups, I go by Advent there. Essentially, for those who are new to this, it's pretty straightforward. You can literally ask me any question you want, whether it be about strategy, whatever struggles you have, or just literally any questions you want to know about trading in general. Or any advice that you may want, literally anything, you can feel free to ask me. Just to give you a little quick background about myself, I've been trading for 2 years and 3 months now, or about to be in November. I've been coaching traders for about 2 years, and I've been full-time trading for 6 months now, since the May this year. So with all that being said, oh, actually, before I forget, for those that are here in the live session and those who are watching this, at the end, I'll give you guys a little bonus, so stick around for that. And with all that being said, ask away.
I kind of had something to talk about if nobody else wants to go first.
Yeah, floor is
Okay.
yours.
So I mostly have been like trading on just like day trades on a 5-minute chart, looking kind of up to the 15 and 30. So I only started using the strat on last Friday, but I kind of was coming into like a problem of like getting bored of like not seeing enough opportunities. So like, what I guess would you suggest to, help me be more patient or like not get that urge to always want to be jumping into something?
So with that, that was something for me as well. I would say the biggest thing is just continuously practice your patience and just not getting in trades if there isn't any setup. Because if you don't have that discipline established, you just literally just have to work on it as it gets easier and easier. So for me, and it's also having like a specific mentality that comes with it. So for myself, I always tell myself before I start the day is like, today, I'm only going to trade my setups. And if they don't appear, that's okay. Tomorrow's another day. Like the market isn't going anywhere. And as some people have heard me say before, if anything does happen that the market goes somewhere, the least of your worries is trading. So I would definitely say just keep on practicing the patience and it'll get easier over time. And actually, a question for you, do you have a dollar amount, like before you start trading in the day or just in general? Do you say today my goal is like 500 or 1,000 or whatever? Like, if that makes sense? Or do you
Yeah,
go?
I used like, because I've been scalping for like 3 months now, but I'm trying to follow the strat more and starting, this week. But I used to have like, not I wouldn't necessarily call it a goal, but like a max I was willing to make on the day. So I used to say like, if I get to 100, I'll stop. But it's not like I have to hit 100 that day. That was like my goal point, I guess.
Perfect. And yeah,
But
that's
yeah.
go on.
I was gonna say, but going into this strategy, I was gonna try to focus more on like, rather than having a profit goal, just focus on sticking to the rules for every single trade. Like, even if that means I don't take one, but I gotta practice the patience.
Yeah, it definitely is. And yeah, like King said, patience and quality over quantity. Like I rather take 4 solid setups of my preferred reversal trades than like 4 of those trades plus like 6 scalps that I don't do.
So would you recommend focusing on just like one specific like setup or pattern to start? Because I was kind of finding myself trying to find like multiple different ones also. So I don't know.
I'd say um, focus on at least 2 to 3 setups using the strat. Like for myself, at least like Rob, the creator, or Rob Smith, the creator of the strat, he says pick 2 to 3 combinations and just stick with those as you start getting more familiar with the strat. For myself, I only take reversals. So I'll take like 2-1-2s, 3-1-2s, and 2 hammer, or reverse hammer 2. Those are my 3 go-to trades. And I've been looking at like 3-2 reversals, although I maybe traded like 1 the last week, but I usually just leave it alone because I'd rather not trade off a 3. That's just me personally. But what you also need to understand is you kind of have to figure out what type of trader you are. Like some people love taking continuations. That's more in line with their type of personality or their trading personality. For me, I don't mind just sitting back all day. If I take 5 trades, it is what it is. But you know, there might be some people who want to just be in and out of trades. So for me, I've discovered over my trading career is that I succeed in reversal trades. And for me, myself personally, the reason why I prefer reversal trades and why they work so much better for me is because when I'm getting in on the reversal, I'm getting in at the beginning of the move, as opposed to taking a continuation trade that's like, it might be in the middle of it or like towards the end. So with reversal trades, I'm literally getting in the beginning and I can get almost the entire move off of, you know, whatever time frame, of course, that is. It's like even during our review, when I showed you that 1 minute chart, I think it was like my first target was, I think it's like 1 point against me, what I like with like 7 points for me. And that's just like my initial trade. But if I stayed in there or left a runner, nothing reversed until it hit like 27 points for me. So as opposed to if I got in a continuation, I might have only gotten 10 points out of that entire like 27, 30-point move. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. I'm gonna, so Noxta asked me a question earlier while I was looking at oil futures. So what you want to do when you're building your watch list is if an individual stock comes out in your scanner or whatever you're looking at, honestly, you always want to see the overlying sector and what the sector's doing. So I was giving an example. I have Oxy on my watch list for tomorrow. So right now, oil is in full time frame continuity on the bullish side, which I'll go into that a little after this. But essentially, everything is bullish. So it's looking that we're heading back up and we're trending back up on oil in general. So with all that being said and established, more than likely, my Oxy trigger is going to be for calls. So if the overlying or like the parent sector on that stock is either bullish or bearish, the algos are going to be following the sector as opposed to the individual stock. And of course, you know, you might get some news and stuff like that. So hopefully that makes sense. And let me know if it does. And another example I was giving is for Coca-Cola. I don't have Coca-Cola in my watch list, but if I were to see Coca-Cola come out in one of my trades, I mean in my scanner, I'll go look at XLY or XLP or both of them and see what the sector's doing, which will give me more confluence or more conviction on whichever trade I'm going, in whichever direction. That makes sense. Give me a yes, thumbs up, anything in the chat, whatever works. All righty, cool. All right, more questions. So Noxta asked, do I swing trade or mostly day trade? He said, day trading is hard for me since the PDT or settled cash rule gets in the way of my small portfolio, and I can only buy like 1 or 2 contracts. So I myself mainly day trade. What I do is like I mainly trade futures, I mainly trade futures, but more specifically, I trade CFDs. So I trade the SPX 500. I've kind of been dabbling a bit in US 30 or NAS 100, but I kind of just stick to SPX 500, which is essentially SPX or ES. Oh, whoops. Perfect. Somebody just came in. So yeah, I mainly day trade. If I'm looking for a specific, if I do use my scanner to look at a daily or weekly chart, I am going to use that as a swing trade. So to really go back to the strat for a quick second, for the strat, it always teaches to go from the higher time frame to the lower one. So depending what I'm looking at, I might be, well, I kind of just use my scanner to just simplify everything for me because I'm not going to go through every single stock and look at all the time frames since I'm looking for very, very specific candle patterns. So if I see, like, for example, actually, let me share my screen to show you guys an example. And Devon, I'll answer your question after this. Let me move this real quick. And then let me see if I can bring the chat here. Cool. All right, so what was it on? It was Microsoft. So yeah, last week I took what was supposed to be a swing trade off the Microsoft weekly, and it ended up being a day trade because it literally hit like all my targets in 3 hours. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna swing this. I'm fine. I'm okay with a 5 delta move in my direction. I think this is the trade that you missed, King. Let me make this bigger. Weekly chart. I think I might have posted this on Reddit. So boom, we get a shooter off the weekly, and the higher the time frame, the more powerful that trigger is going to be. So in this case, we had a shooter off of Microsoft. As soon as it triggered me in, I think throughout the week it went higher. I think like on Thursday after CPI or FOMC minutes, it like spiked up. But when I got into this trade, I think it was, I entered here, was it 233.17? Yeah, and then that same morning it popped up a dollar, was that $1.30, $1.40? So it came up, it triggered me in, I got in, and it literally just got destroyed the same day. I think it hit somewhere around 226, 227-ish. And I just took everything off that day. I personally don't care to swing runners, even though I should, but I like to just close all my positions by the end of the day so I can sleep like a baby. I don't like having things on my mind. That just kind of helps me personally. But yeah, in this case, I took that trade off the weekly. It was supposed to be a swing trade, but I just took it off the same day. So for me, I use the daily and the weekly, sometimes even the monthly, if the setup is there for swing trades. But for when I'm day trading, I use the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30, 65-minute, and the 1 hour to get into trades. And in the sense of your small account, so what you want to look for as well, do you trade stocks or do you trade options, Noxta? So for options, you want to look for stocks or even indexes that are pretty cheap to trade that can give you a decent return. So for example, IWM is pretty good. The spread is maybe what, like I think $2 to $5 or $2 to $4. It's not that bad. Yeah, IWM are like is great. What you also want to look at that I've used myself in the past, and even sometimes if the setup is there, I'll take it even on my accounts now. Coca-Cola, the contracts are dirt. They might be like 50, 60, $70 for a weekly expiration. But the delta is like $40 or $50. And I think Coca-Cola's ATR, or the average price range a day, is about 70 to 90 cents. So you get a half a delta move. Even you get 25-cent move, and you're getting at least what, like 20, 30% on the contract. So you should like look for different stocks. You might get cheaper ones. Like for me, I love Coca-Cola, super cheap contracts, very high deltas. I think Neo is pretty good for trading, building small accounts as well. Although I haven't really seen the contract since it was like around $19. It got demolished to $13. So check out the ATR and see if it's still even worth it to trade it.
Just a quick note on that too. My account's also pretty small that I day trade options in, but I just trade SPY. You can do like 4 or 5 trades a day if you do at the money with like 2K or so. So I don't know how exactly small it is, but that's just quick note.
Thank you for sharing. And yeah, definitely that too. And remember, one thing that I kind of just want to throw out there really quickly before I get into other ones, other questions, is for anybody that may be new to trading, or that anybody that's listening to this that may be new to trading, don't get caught up in the getting to 25,000 in your account. I think that people kind of overhype it. In my opinion, you shouldn't be using a margin account unless you're shorting things, or like selling contracts, or like selling premium rather, like selling calls or selling puts. And if you don't know about that, you probably shouldn't even bother, because it can go against you if you don't have a good system in place. So for me, margin accounts are kind of overrated to hit 25K, because they're like, I can do 30 trades a day. But in reality, are those 30 trades quality setups? Like for me, I think SPX 500 gives me maybe 5 to 6 decent trades a day. And I'm cool with that. Sometimes it gives me 3, sometimes it gives me 4, because I'm very picky on the exact type of candlestick and pattern that I take. So with that being said, I'm just here for the quality. I don't honestly care for the 20, 30 trades a day. And even from my own experience, I was like super caught up in, oh shit, I got the 25K and I could do 20,000 trades a day, but they weren't really good trades. It was kind of just like, cool, I could trade unlimitedly now. All right, that's fine. But like, is it really worth it? Which in my opinion is no. But if you are shorting stock, or if you're shorting like selling premium, and you know what you're doing, of course, when you're experienced, then yeah, definitely margin account. Like I have a margin account too, that I will sell like spreads on, or like every now and then I'll sell premium. But I mainly just focus on like my cash account or my futures broker. Noxa, let me know if all that resonated and made sense. And yeah, the Neo at the money contracts, $50 for a weekly. And you get that good setup, you're straight. You might make like 20, 30% on that. And there's some other stocks too that I can't think of right now, but if I can think of them, I'll post them in the chat or just mention them on the video later. All right, so the scanner that I'm using is, so I use Thinkorswim, and I have it set up to look for 3-1 or like to look for 3-1 setups, or inside bar setups, or one candle setups. If you are familiar with the strat, if you're not familiar with the strat, I have it set up to look for outside bars with inside bars, or just inside bars on the daily or the 4-hour time frame. But I can like adjust it to like look for it on the weekly as well, if anything. Which actually, let me bring up so I can quickly show you guys. And for those who do use Thinkorswim and want to use this scanner, on the, I think it's in the scripts and ebooks section, or if not, I think it's in the scanner section in the Strat Academy portion of the Discord. It has like all the studies that you could just load in. Let me just log in real quick and I'll show you guys. Yeah, the Discord link, let me actually post that right now while Thinkorswim is loading up. And for those that are watching this replay that might not be in the Discord, I'm going to have my link tree that'll have all of my links, like for my book, for my coaching, for the Discord website, some other services and products that I offer, and other replays for like past videos that I've put out and webinars. So boom, the Discord link is in the chat, and it's free to join for those who are not in it and those who are listening to this. And to confirm before I continue, let's see, Strat Scanner. It's in ebooks and scripts in the Strat Academy section. And I also added it to, let me see. Yes, I also added new ones that you can search for hammers, or you can look for shooters or reverse hammers on the daily time frame or weekly or 4-hour, whatever you set it to. All right, let me get out of this. Apparently I don't know my password. All right, let me switch this screen over. Let me know if you guys can see my Thinkorswim. It should still be loading up. All righty, let me know if you guys can see that.
I still see the loading bar, the showing desktop.
Might be a little delayed. Let me actually close that. Do you guys see this, the whole screen, or not yet?
I don't see it yet, no.
Let me just stop sharing and let me just reshare it. All right, you guys can check now.
Yep, I can see it now.
Perfect. All right, so actually I gotta move this. Let me minimize that. Just bring that down here. So right here, I have it set up to look for 3 ones on the daily. So I just hit scan, and it'll show me all the stocks. Well, of course, I want to look for a lot of volume. I don't really care for penny stocks and stuff like that. You know, we're trading options, and you should never trade options on penny stocks. And if you do, consider it a lottery ticket. So yeah, right here, this is for my daily, and all of these stocks right here have an outside bar, inside bar candle setup. So Twitter, UPST, what else? We got Intel that I added to the watch list. Dell, I think Dell has really cheap contracts for the weeklies as well, and they move pretty good. I think the deltas are pretty high. I could be wrong. I haven't traded in a long time, but from what I remember. And then I have here 4-hour time frame. So now this shows me all the 4-hour stocks that have 3 ones or outside bar, inside bar setups on the 4-hour. And you could literally just change it to whatever time frame you want, 5-minute, weekly, whatever you want, monthly. And then I have another one. I have like an inside bar. That way it'll show me like any 2-1 setups or even double inside bars. One thing to know really quickly by inside bars is that if you see 2 of them back to back, there's going to be a big move in either direction once it triggers. So yeah, this is showing all the inside bar stocks on the daily time frame. Cool. And I think there should be instructions on how to insert these. If you don't know how, just let me know and I'll probably just like make a quick little like 5-10 minute tutorial video. Yeah. Hopefully that answered your questions or the questions as of now. And if you have any more questions, you can definitely get off. The floor is open, so you can unmute yourself if you want, whenever you want, or just type in the chat and we go from there. Let me bring back my trading view. Yeah, so the run strat, you can definitely use that. The only thing about run strat is that they're gonna shut down the website at the beginning of November, I think. So you only have 2 more weeks to use that, unfortunately, unless something changes and they keep the website up, but they're shutting down, unfortunately. Yeah, I was super sad to hear that. Because on the run strat, I like that one because I could literally put look for 2-1 as opposed to just inside bar on Thinkorswim. And I don't know how to code it to look for 2-1 candles, only like inside bars or like outside inside bars. And for Thinkorswim, if you don't use it, you don't need to use Thinkorswim to like look for the scans. I think you could literally just make a free account on Thinkorswim and just load the study in and then just hit the scan at the end of the day or before your trades or before you start trading to see what pops up. I don't think you need to have money in there to be able to like use the scanner and stuff like that. But yeah, in the meantime, definitely use runstrat.com. But besides runstrat and Thinkorswim, I've actually been trying. I'm not a coder, so if any of you know how to code or you know somebody who does know how to code, maybe we can find a way to like make a screener on Thinkorswim, I mean on a trading view that'll pop up all the stocks for us that have like inside bars and stuff like that. Something to keep in mind out. Cool. So ask me any questions in the meantime. I'm gonna answer one of them from a person that couldn't attend. So for those who are familiar with the strat, for those who aren't, the question that was asked was, what is a TTO? And a TTO just is a word that Rob Smith used or uses for the term triangle day out, which in simple terms or in other terms that people might have heard is just it's corrective activity or a pullback in the trend. So a TTO, there could be a bearish TTO or a bullish TTO or bullish TTO, bearish TTO. And a TTO you would use to hop in on the trend at the best moment. So you get in at the perfect time to ride the trend with the smallest amount of risk. And I'll actually show you guys one right now. Can you, all of you, see my chart right now?
I can see it good, yeah.
Cool. Let me just delete this real quick. So a TTO can appear on any time frame. I guess it's actually great that it appeared here on the 4-hour. So as we can see here, you know, we're kind of like uptrending on the 4-hour. Then we kind of get this like choppy movement, go up, then we come back down. For me on the 4-hour right now, this is kind of like all over the place. It's not as clean as I would like it, but essentially boom, triangle, and then we get the base. The base you can even put maybe like down here, I would say, like after like the big engulfing, and when instead of like, you know, like right here, it's like going just straight up. When it starts to like kind of get a little tighter and then like kind of pull back down, I usually put my base around there. So as we can see right here, here we have our triangle. And if you're familiar with the strat, we got our perfect 2-1-2 setup right near the base of the triangle. Doesn't have to be perfect, but anyway, bear with me. So boom, perfect 2-1-2 setup right at the base of the triangle. You get in right here using the strat, or with strat terms. As soon as you see this 2-1 print and the next candle, as soon as it crosses above the top of this, I'm in. And your stop loss is the bottom of the candle here. And your target, for me, my maximum target when I'm trading a TTO is the top of the triangle. So like right up here. But with the strat, your long targets are the highs of the previous candles. So for example, no, the candles are not specific to TradingView. You can put that on TOS as well, which is in the script section. So with TTOs, I'm aiming for the top of the triangle as my max target. So in this case, get in long position right there. My stop loss is right here. My max target is up here. That's 1 to 8.6. I'm definitely taking that trade. But even to my first target right here, because remember, it's the high of the previous candle. My first target right there, that's 1 to 3.52. I'm definitely taking that trade. Even if I just take this, then it stops out my runners, I'm good. And then I could just keep riding it up to there. Although I probably would have gotten out. Well, this might be a TTO on a smaller time frame, but little pullback. We got a hammer. Shit, you can, if you see something like this, you can definitely either add to your position or take all your position off here, or even want to hit your second target right here, because it reversed right here. So you probably would have gotten out. But if I see this hammer print right here, I'm getting in. So like I mentioned, like those hammers and then a 2 up or a 2 down. TTO, it honestly is if it appears. I don't really, and it depends how the TTO looks. Like for me, I'm very, very particular about the TTOs that I take. This one I probably would have taken off the 4-hour. So boom, take it right here. It'll hit technically 2 targets because it hit the top of this wick right here. It hit 3 targets. I would have gotten out because it started reversing on the 4-hour. But then once I see this hammer print off, and this is an actionable signal for those who are new to the strat. Once you see an actionable signal, that means it's going to keep on going in whatever direction it is. So we see a hammer going long. And look at that stop. That's what, that's like the smallest stop I've ever seen in my whole life. Boom. That's a 1 to 6, even to like the top of that candle. But if I'm still aiming for the top of the triangle, that's a 1 to 61.77, which is insane. And some people sometimes ask me really quickly, and actually before I continue, all of you following me, I can definitely go on and on and on about this. But is everybody following me so far with the TTO?
Yeah,
Cool,
I'm
cool, cool.
following.
So
I did have a quick question though.
yeah,
So on that example you were just talking about where it kind of came back down. So if that had gapped up on right after the hammer, would you still take an entry even if there's a like if it had gapped up a little bit, or would you kind of wait to see if it pulls back?
after that, yeah, this is being recorded, Devon, to be recorded. The hammer,
Yeah, so the one you're hovering over kind of right there. So
yep,
on that next two that shot really high up,
yep.
just let's like in a theoretical example, if that had when it opened, if it gapped up a little bit, do you still count that as like an entry? Because I watch 5 minute more, so sometimes there's like gaps. So if it gaps after the hammer, do you still take the entry right away as it like broke the hammer,
Mhm.
or would you
It-
kind of wait for a pullback to kind of see what happens there?
If it's a gap, personally, I haven't seen that on the 5 minute when I'm trading. I've always ever seen it like open and then like it'll either do something, it'll do something like this, like it'll open, it'll either go up, pull back, and then it'll trigger you in. So it almost never hits your stop loss. Realistically, with the trades that I take, it's like 80-90% win rate. So um it'll go against you before it triggers you in. So once you get triggered in, that's why the stop, like that's like why with the strat, you have your stop loss at the bottom if you're long, or on the top if you're short, because it, so right here when it opened up, it more than likely pulled back this tiny bit, and then it would trigger you in. And
So when
then
it, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
So when it pulls back like that, would you like set a buy order at the top of the candle, the hammer, like where it would break as an entry? So then that way when it moves, that you just automatically hit in, or would you still manually want to hit into it?
So if I'm trading options, I'm either gonna buy a market or I'm gonna buy the ask, depending on the contract. If the spread is like a $5 to $10, I'm gonna use limit because I'm not trying to fill like $5 or $10 above the ask
Yeah,
or
because
the
at the
mid
money
catch.
SPX can have like a 20 to 30 spread for 0 DTE pretty often.
And even well for SPX, you well for me, I use market because once it moves, it's going, it's like it's out of there.
Hmm.
So if I'm trading futures or CFDs, or Forex, I'm putting a buy stop right here. Like so as soon as it hits that trigger, it automatically puts me in the trade.
Hmm.
But for options, I'm just buying the ask or I'm just buying market. And then I'm
Okay.
selling market or selling the ask, or whatever it is.
So you
Or
won't have
selling
your order sitting there. You'll just like see it and then execute a market order like manually.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So and sometimes, because like I said, like since I'm traveling right now, I chart on my computer and I get in on my phone. I'm pretty quick on my phone to get into trades and like put numbers in, so it works for me. Some people, they might just buy market just to get in super quick, because right here, if you didn't get in, it's not coming back. And boom, it literally, the first candle shot up to your 61.77 risk reward target. And then it pulled back, price scared some people, boom, shoots back up, chops for a bit, comes back. Probably going to keep on going up. We're in full time frame continuity, even though we are in the inside, but yeah. Hopefully that gives you more understanding of a TTO. I'm going to give another example as well, which uh, I think Tim and whoever else might be here from Blue Ocean, when we were talking about British pound and JPY. Actually, before I get into that, Noxta asked, would you hold during that pullback on the last big green candle and hope it kept going until the top of the triangle, or would you sell? Do you mean this right here, this candle? So right here, this first candle hit my max target. So more than likely on a 1 to 61.77 risk reward trade, I'm fully out. But realistically, The way you can stay in trades longer is by following the time frame that you get in. Of course, you want to see the other time frame because it might start reversing on the smaller time frames. But for the most part, on the 4-hour, we get a hammer, big shoot up, pull back, keeps on going up, but we never got a reversal back down. So I'll give you an example. If I get on this 2-1-2 up, it never gave me a 2-2 down or a 2-1-2 down until right here. So if I'm in this trade, there's no reason for me to get out because there's no reversals. There's no reversals happening on the time frame that I'm on, that I'm trading on, until right here. So let's say, for example, all these twos that are going up, if it hits my first target, let's say, and this 2 right here, instead of printing a 1, it just did a 2-2 down, I'm out of this trade as soon as it triggers a reversal back down. So right here, this 2-1-2 up that I took, I would have ridden it, my targets, and held it until I saw this 2-1-2 down right here. And I would have gotten out completely. But then once I see this hammer, I'm looking to get back in. So yeah. Now, on the bearish side, for those in Blue Ocean Academy, when we were speaking about this, I was a little salty because they outside barred the candle overnight and stopped me out. Let me see if I can find this. I think it was in the 5-minute. So for a bearish TTO, for those who are in the Discord or in other groups that I'm in, you might hear me say, "Oh, it's an H pattern." A bearish TTO, to make it like easy to follow, you can just look at it as a dead cat bounce or an H pattern, and I'll show you what I mean by an H pattern. Let me just find this specific trade. It was 9 o'clock, 8, 5 in the morning. Man, it was around 7. Was it British pound? Maybe on the 15-minute? Or maybe I'm just looking at the wrong day. Hold on, actually, I think I may be just looking at the wrong day. Let me see if this prints one real quick. No, I wouldn't take that. While I'm looking for this, you guys can also put some more questions in the chat. I'm just trying to find a specific thing. Tim, do you remember the day that we took that 4-hour short and then it died like shit? I don't even know how many pips that was in Forex, but like it was like 164, 165 to like 161 in like 2-3 hours or something crazy like that. Maybe it was this day. Huh. Yeah, I can't find this for whatever reason. In the Discord, in the Strat Academy chat, I have, if you scroll up, I think I put a forward bearish TTO pattern that's easier to see, but I can't find it for some reason that I took on British pound or that I saw. All righty, more questions. And while you guys type out or ask more questions, Again, a TTO is used to get into trends at the best moment. So you're not like, oh, we're having this big uptrend. Should I get in here? Should I get in there? For me, I'm looking for that pullback and then boom. Like technically, it doesn't look like my type of TTO, but get the straight move up, start consolidating sideways. Boom. At the base of the triangle, you get a hammer, you go long. That way you get on the trend at the best point. And even here, that stop is like nothing. And then boom, they brought it back down, opened, pulled back a little bit, still didn't hit your stop. You're in all the way up to up here, that resistance point. Then chop, keeps on going up.
So you said you mostly trade SPX on like a day trade time frame, right?
Yep.
What do you do on days that are like just really choppy and range bound? Do you try to catch like reversals on the ends of the range, or do you just kind of sit out?
Nah, so for me, I don't like trading inside days at all. I honestly don't care for the tight ranges, and like a lot of the moves are like fake, could be fake outs. If I was so inclined to trade an inside day, um, I would use like the 5 minute. I'm not using the 15 minute at all. But to me, inside days aren't worth it. I'll just look for individual stocks.
So
If
if you were watching just the 5 minute, would you just kind of like not take into account the time frame continuity as much and just kind of look for the reversal patterns on certain supply and demand and whatnot?
yeah, essentially, like if it hits a level, like if it hits like the top of the range, um, if it's top of the range and then it gives me like a 2-1-2 down, I might take that trade. But for the most part, if it's an inside day, I personally don't care to trade it.
Okay.
But what I would do as well is I use fibs to like check out gaps. And for fibs, at least the way one of my mentors taught me, he's like he uses a strat and fibs, which is why I use it now. So I won't speak too much about it, but just to keep it simple, the way he taught me the fibs is with these specific levels and the specific like these green lines right here, they're the profit box. And the profit box is where the computers or the algorithms are looking to take the price after a gap up or a gap down. So as you can see here, for ES, or just in the sake of like SPX 500, we got a gap down. We get the hammer. It's a fake out. It rejects off the 50. They destroy it into the profit box. And now it was just ranging in there, killed it back down. These red zones are like the overextended zone. So right now we're just chopping between the profit box and the overextended zone.
And you would draw
And
that on a gap just in the 5 minute?
yeah, so I usually wait for the first 5 minute candle to print, and then I'll just immediately just draw it, and then I'll just go off that. And
Like
even
on the open?
yep, on the open. I don't
Okay.
take trades in the first 15 minutes, but I just draw it there just to have it.
Okay.
But I usually do it on the 5 minute, because if I am looking on the 5, 15, 30 minute, there might be a setup that might show up. Here, the reason why I don't do it on the 15 minute, technically, I could have drawn it like down here for the 15 minute, but it still hit the profit box anyway using the 15. Yeah, I'll quickly share the levels. And if my mentor sees this, I apologize, but I'll quickly keep it here. You can pause it. I just try not to show them since he charges for that. But those are the levels right there. Trust, if you see this, I love you. Forgive me. I'll send people to buy your stuff. Anyway. And for those, but even then, it goes a lot more in depth with the fibs than just, oh, the profit box is here or the profit box is there. There's a lot more to know for the fibs, which I'll actually post, which is in the ebooks, courses, and other sections in the Discord. But I'll post that in the YouTube link. I'll post that in the YouTube link for everybody to see and to check out. That way you have the link if you ever do want to buy the course. I highly recommend it myself. It like blew my mind for fibs. Alrighty, any other questions? He charges $149 for his Fibonacci course, which in my opinion, it's well worth it. Shit, from what you learn about that, you'll get that literally in a day or even a week, depending on your account size. And that's actually a great segue because I forgot to mention this earlier, but one thing that was really open to me that some of my most recent mentors and even current mentors for the strat, because I still talk to them on a daily or weekly basis. For those who may be new to trading or for those who have been trading for a while but are still not maybe finding the consistency that they want, one thing, so I guess I'll just name them. So my strat mentors was Brown Strat King, Trust My Levels, Faith in the Strat, or YRM, True to the Strat, and I think I said Trust My Levels already. There's somebody else that I'm missing. Whoever I am missing, I love you. I'm just a lot going on right now. Bear with me. But anyway, Brown mentioned one day on the chat, he was like, you're either gonna, or maybe it was Trust, you're either gonna exchange time for money or money for time. So what that means is this: if you don't want to use the money, you might spend a month or two getting this down, as opposed to, let me pay this guy $100, $200 and get a session with him or buy his course and get the info directly from an expert, which will shorten the amount of time that I need to truly understand whatever it is that I'm trying to learn. So for example, when I was first learning out the strat, the first person that I ever got a session with was Faith in the Strat. And he, like, I was kind of like looking at broadening formations and like kind of like taking trades on different time frames, but like the way he explained it to me literally just like cracked the code in my head. It was like the light that like the duh, and like it really just like opened me up. And another thing about that is never stop being a student and never stop learning, because there's so much more out there that we don't know. And once you stop trying to learn, in my opinion, you failed. Just my 2 cents on the matter. But yeah, you're either going to exchange your time for money or your money for time. For me, I would gladly trade my money to save a lot of time, because we can never get our time back, but we can definitely make more money. Alrighty, any last questions before we wrap up? So on TradingView, to get the candles, so the recording, Devon, did you join in through the Calendly link, where like it sends you the email for the Zoom link? So I'm going to, if you go back to that same link where you want to sign up, there's a YouTube link there that I have. You can either click on that and just check the YouTube channel. I'll put it up there. If not, I'm going to send everybody who signed up a follow-up email that I'll have all the information, like where to find the YouTube link, and all the other stuff that I went through on the call. So you can find it there, and you're definitely welcome. So to find or to put the strat assistant on your chart, which has the time frame continuity, it also tells you the current bar. This you can take off if you want to. I kind of just left it there because I'm lazy. But if you go to your indicators, you're going to search up strat assistant. It'll be the first one right here that has 2838, or just the highest amount. I'm not sure if that's downloads, reviews, or whatever, but it'll be the first one. It'll change your candles. Like it'll give it'll change like your 3 candles be purple or yellow or something like that. I myself like my charts to look as pretty as possible, so I just edit it in the settings. Right here in the little cog. And I took off, like the 2 up or the 2 downs. I took that off because I already know if it's a 2 up or a 2 down candle. But you can keep all of this on if you are new to the strat, so you can kind of understand it. Inputs. Yeah, so you can, like right here, if I would leave this on, it'll change the color of the candles, and that looks ugly to me. So I just turned that off and just made my colors the way I like it. All righty. Cool. So before we get off, I just want to quickly share with you guys, for those who don't know, and for those who do know, what I mentioned in the beginning of the chat or the Q&A, for those who stayed till the end, the surprise bonus was everybody that's in here or that may be watching this video up to this point, you'll get a one-time 10% off of all my services and products. Just reach out to me prior to booking or buying anything so I can adjust the price or give you the coupon code for that. And for those who don't know how you can work with me, or for me to let you know how you can work with me, if you'd like to go in depth, to get more help with your trading, I offer one-on-one coaching sessions and monthly programs where we go step by step in establishing your current obstacles or setbacks in your trading and help you create a tangible system that's going to make you a more disciplined, mindful, and ultimately a successful trader, which is what we're all trying to do. I'll provide the link in the chat now for those who don't have it. And it'll be in the follow-up and in the YouTube as well. And like I said, for whoever attended this, you get a 10% out, 10% off from all my services and products. Just let me know prior. And yeah, any last, actually, again, almost forgot about this. What was everybody's biggest takeaway from this session?
For me, it's probably the sticking with like just 1 or 2 patterns that you really like and not trying to see everything and take lots of trades, and just be patient. Take 2 or 3 really solid ones every day.
And that's all you need. And if you do lose the trades, remember, this game is a game of probability. Nothing is guaranteed. It's just some have high success, some have low success. Like for the reversals that I take or the hammer trades, I would say 80–90% of the time they win. And sometimes they lose. Like last week, I took 3 hammer trades, and I think 2 of them failed back to back. But then the third and the fourth and the fifth, they all won in a row. So remember, it's all probability. Nothing is guaranteed. Assuming you guys can't see the chat on the recording, Knox has said learning about the strat, reversals, and waiting for good entries versus getting restless. Also, he learned a lot about having goals for prices to get to, like fibs and triangle tops. And of course, King, he's just here to listen to me talk, which I always appreciate. Yeah.
Thanks for the session, man. Really
Absolutely.
helpful.
And again, I have these monthly in the same link that you guys used to book this. I think I have like 6 or 7 months in advance that you could just book it like now. But I would usually recommend just booking it 1 month at a time so you don't get like too, you know, forgetful or caught up. So in November, it'll have the link there when the next November session is. Again,
Awesome.
I appreciate everybody coming out. I love doing this stuff. I love teaching and sharing this with you all. Again, I'm gonna post this recording probably tonight. If not, look out for it at, I would say by 12 noon tomorrow, but more than likely by midnight tonight. I'll send those emails out. Anyway, thank you all for coming out. Have a beautiful night, and I'll
Thank you,
see
man.
y'all in the morning.